What is going on, guys? Today we got in our Wake Island trailer. We're now less than a week away from Wake Island dropping, which will be coming out next week on Thursday, December 12th. We also had our first glimpse of our fourth and final map at the end of the trailer. Something I just want to jump into right now and talk about, because this map looks nothing like we've seen before in Battlefield 5. We have some American soldiers walking in some real thick jungle terrain, which is now having me swap my decision back to this being probably an all-infantry map again. I mean, we're at least not going to be seeing airplanes with having such a thick tree canopy for cover. If you guys have been following my vids on this map, I've jumped from thinking it first was going to be an all-infantry focused map, because the concept art gave no indication of vehicle gameplay, and there's just a bunch of infantry players battling it out. And considering that all of the other maps so far in our Pacific Theater update have been heavily vehicle focused, and when you can see what goes on here in our Wake Island trailer, you're going to see how they're really even scaling up the vehicle gameplay even more. So that's why it had me kind of thinking it would make sense for the fourth map to be purely infantry focused. However, once I saw the leaked location for this fourth and final map being in the Solomon Islands, I took a step back from my theory of this being a purely infantry focused map, knowing that the campaigns in Solomon Islands had vehicles in them. But now seeing this brief clip, I really don't know what to think anymore. I mean, at best, maybe we see a tank roll around here, but it's not like you're going to have that great field of vision, seeing how narrow the paths are and all the shrubbery that's blocking your field of view. And even in the brief clip, shows Japanese soldiers sneaking up on American soldiers. So even if there is a tank on this map, I'm betting it won't be that effective. But like I was saying, we see Japanese soldiers just around the jungle shrubbery, with one pulling out a katana right as the American soldiers start to approach. The katanas were something we saw all over the concept art for this map, and seeing it here again makes me believe that this is going to be a very close quarters map, making the katana probably the most powerful weapon on this new playing field. When we saw first the katana, we saw it highlighted by the caverns of Iwo Jima in the Pacific Theater trailer, giving us a sense that this is meant to be a close quarter weapon, which clearly it is. The only problem with the katana on Iwo Jima is the caverns are only a brief part of the map, with most of it being very out in the open. Pacific Storm has various ways to give you cover, but it still is another very open style map, with of course more things to be worried about than the infantry players you're trying to slice up with your katana. So if this does indeed turn out to be a fully infantry focused map, watch out for the katanas and even the flamethrowers being the most powerful weapons that you can find. Moving on to what the trailer was really about, we got our first real look at Wake Island in 2019. The trailer basically covers the article that was released for us a little bit over a week ago. It compares what's new in Wake Island compared to the original 1942 one. We got all the same information again about it being twice the size of the original Wake Island, in attempts to improve the game's pacing for this legendary map. We're told the map is more flat compared to other Wake Islands in the past, so it should play really well for vehicles. Something I'm pretty excited for, especially with those amphibious tanks. I don't think they were served its due justice for the other two maps, considering that even on Iwo Jima, the only water gameplay we had was at the very start. So I think Wake Island will do these tanks more justice, considering we have a bunch of water in the middle. And yeah, I've even seen the trailer right here. You see the Kami just dive right through the bridge and go right into the water. That is exactly what I'm talking about. We get a lot of nods to crabs on the beach as well. We see crabs several times in the trailer in response to the meme. If you haven't seen it, I'll link it down in the comments below. I will say that I wonder if we'll start to see some DICE-like Easter eggs. I'm not talking like little kind of cool Easter eggs like how we saw sharks swimming around in Pacific Storm and how they will attack and bite you, taking a little bit of your health down, but something a bit more significant. It probably wouldn't have been the most tasteful of things to have some huge Easter egg be revealed in previous months, considering the state of the game. And I think the last thing the community would want to see is DICE promoting some Easter eggs when we didn't have any new maps and Battlefield was severely broken. But now that DICE seems to be getting its footing and makes me wonder if maybe in 2020 we'll start discovering some significant Easter eggs, topping off the pretty positive experience the community has had with the Pacific Theater update. DICE goes on in the trailer and tells us about the 2 game modes we'll see first on this map. So we'll be seeing Breakthrough and Conquest. We'll most likely be getting for 1 full week a dedicated playlist of Breakthrough and Conquest for the map until the week is over, and then we'll see Wake Island being added to the already available Pacific Theater playlist, which I think is huge that DICE has kept that playlist around, and I'm expecting to stay around for probably a while. So good job on DICE to not throw these maps into the other rotation for the maps that released for Battlefield 5, because there are people like me out there who only really want to play the Pacific Theater maps right now. We get a look at some Jeep stuff, the classic C4 being placed on a Jeep, but in this case we see Sticky Dynamite. Don't take any of these clips lightly. DICE was not sure if they were going to revisit Wake Island when the launch of Battlefield 5 happened, so to see Wake Island and to see them show things like Jeep stuff in the trailer is, to me, saying Battlefield is really letting us know they are doubling down on what makes Battlefield again. So if there was a time to capitulate, it would have been back in April, right before the summertime came around, when Battlefield 5 really hit its low. But what do you guys think about Wake Island returning? From the trailer, we see more of that rock, shrubbery terrain. We were told about this in the blog, so I see the terrain playing a lot like Pacific Storm with the shrubbery you can hide in and stuff like that. We do get glimpses of a little bit more stuff that is unique to Wake Island, with some pretty sizable buildings to be fighting in. You see a flag that's right there at the center of it that you can either defend or attack, so that would be pretty cool to find out and see more of the unique stuff that makes Wake Island really stand out as a third and separate map for the Pacific Theater update. But that is it for you guys today. Again, I always appreciate you guys being here. I am Livin', and I'll catch you guys again later.